All right, should be recording. Okay, so of course, welcome everyone to the kickoff. I know we don't have that many people with us, but this will be recorded so everyone can see this afterwards. So thank you to everyone that's joining and to our special guests as well for taking the time. My name is Kayla Carter, and I'm the Associate Director of Development for the Illinois and Wisconsin areas. I manage our signature fundraising campaign toward cure, Team Diabetes, and our grants and foundations here, and driving revenue to our area. I've been with ADA for almost 3 years now, and diabetes is definitely near and dear to my heart, so I'm happy to have this kickoff with you all and with our special guests. So now I'm going to introduce a few of our special guests. Alan Rodriguez, he's the chairman of Team Diabetes, and then Mike Norman, he is the owner and coach of Chicago Endurance Sports, and then Dave Zimmer, he is the owner of Fleet Feet Chicagoland. So Alan, I'm going to kick it to you to introduce yourself a little bit and why you have chosen to support the ADA.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see familiar faces. I've been running since 2004, done 19 marathons. I did a virtual last year. I ran a marathon site for 2 consecutive years where I brought the Gatorade, I brought the water in my car, which was fun stuff. A number of years ago with the Clock Tower Runners. The diabetes has affected my family. So my dad, especially his father, who lost both of his legs, unfortunately, to diabetes. But so 2004, which was my first marathon, I ran for Team Diabetes, and on and off since probably 2005. I would meet with people who were running the marathon team for Diabetes Association, give them insights, ideas. And then last year, I was asked to be the executive chair of Team Diabetes. So last year I did a virtual. I have very little meniscus in my left knee and probably my right knee is affected, but I did a very slow, determined marathon last year, raised almost $2,000. I'm going to run again this year. Years ago, I was able to run a Boston because of an invitation. And so this year I'm going to do a virtual Boston marathon. I was invited through their alumni association. So that'll be, I think their date is October 9th or 10th or the 11th. So I could pick any of those days. So I'm excited. I'm glad Chicago's back. Chicago's probably, to me, the best marathon that there is. And with the fan support and the people who are involved and run it, Carrie and Mike do a great job. And that's the one thing that last year when I ran it at Waterfall Glen. It was very quiet and you're pretty much on your own. Although running has come back pretty much on the lakefront, is very strong, as well as at Waterfall. I think there's 3 times the amount of people now at Waterfall out there training now that COVID, the protocols have been kind of the type of restraints we had before have kind of been lifted. 3 times probably the runners are out there now in Waterfall. So I look to help you guys in any way. I've had numerous experiences where I dehydrated or got hurt during my training, so I could give you any insight on how to take care of yourself or drink enough Gatorade. Mike's here and Dave's here. They could help you with the shoes and the training, which are very, very important. And so I'm excited, and if you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alan. You've been such a great help to us and the ADA in general, and then helping me with the transition last year and then into this year. And so we're hoping to be in person this year, of course, and then strive for the new goal in 2022. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And now I'm going to transition over to a few diabetes stats and then get into Team Diabetes, some fundraising tips, and then pass it over to Coach Mike first and then Dave. So with diabetes, every 21 seconds, someone is diagnosed in the U.S. with diabetes, and that's based on 2020 stats. We don't have updated stats yet, but we hope to get them very soon. So that's very alarming there. And then, of course, this is the burden of diabetes snapshot in Illinois. And we are fighting every single day here with our small and mighty team because of COVID. And these are just the numbers, very staggering, but we are definitely trying and working towards lowering those numbers with our partners and our partnerships this year. And then, of course, our focus is to increase risk awareness, which is why we have Team Diabetes. We are raising funds to fund innovative research, of course, improve medical care with our partners and within the ADA, and then, of course, engage the community. And with COVID, I did mention this last year when we had our kickoff with COVID-19. We have a plethora of resources, and if you have any questions, because it's still active, I know we have the vaccine now, which is helping tremendously, but of course, we always want to protect your health. We have advocacy efforts and insulin affordability if you have any insulin issues, and then of course, we have the professional education resources to your disposal. So if you have any questions, if you need those resources, let me know. And then of course, Team Diabetes Chicago Team for the Marathon is one of the ADA signature fundraising events. And we have the community, participants, sponsorships, and our friends and family that raise crucial funds every year. And this year will be our 11th year as an official charity team in the marathon. And of course, we'll be running for a life free of diabetes and all its burdens. And it is on Sunday, October 10th this year. And with Team Diabetes, we always want to inform our runners why they run for Team Diabetes. So, of course, staying connected to participants, volunteers, and staff with our fundraising webpage. That's awesome. And then, of course, exercise. You know, we're in this time of isolation, and we were last year as well. So we love to have everyone spread the word about diabetes and then get active outside. And then, of course, again, we have resources. We have Diabetes Food Hub, Living with Type 2. So that comes along with joining Team Diabetes. And we help our runners, their friends, and families with those resources. And of course, COVID, we have been on the forefront of COVID, and we are still taking precautions if you are diagnosed and what to do. And then with our advocacy efforts, we are looking to improve access to healthcare, diabetes research all the time, and prevention and to end discrimination. And then, of course, it's fun. Of course, so Team Diabetes has been always fun, simple, fun to run. It's not simple to train, but it is always fun to get out there with groups and do the training. And with fundraising tips and tricks, I do send emails monthly with fundraising tips and where to send those donations. But we do have a Facebook fundraiser on your participant center, and we also have the Team Diabetes mobile app. It is updated, so there are a few updates on the app to help with, let me admit, Peter, to help you with your fundraising efforts. And of course, this year we are using the 2021 hashtag, so Virtual Team Diabetes. Like if you post on your socials about the marathon, you can use all of these, and I will share this PowerPoint at the end, and then also the recording. But these are the hashtags that we're using, and then these are our Facebook and Instagram socials, and these are all just localized socials. Okay. And now I'm going to pass it to Coach Mike with Chicago Endurance Sports.
Thank you, Kayla. Yeah, this is awesome. We're very honored and excited to be partnered with you guys again this year to do our part to help all of you guys get to that start line and get across the finish line, have a big smile on your face, enjoy that party that is the Chicago Marathon. Our job is to cover that 19-week journey in between now and the race day. So that's our biggest goal, is to make that journey as positive and fun as possible, supporting you guys all the way. We want to take all that stress away from the training side of things, well, as much as we can, by providing that daily schedule for you guys to follow, having the coaches to help you kind of navigate the the long season that it is, and just give you some great education along the way, get you ready for a fun day. My biggest goal, especially at this time of year, and what our coaches are trying to do is lay that foundation for a successful season. We're still early in the training, so the things that we're really focused on right now are just building good habits from the beginning. Making sure you're getting plenty of sleep, making sure that you are focused on good, solid, healthy nutrition, all the things that are going to let your body make those adaptations to the training that you're doing. And as far as the training itself goes, the biggest focus right now, as well as through the rest of the season, is focusing on consistency. The mileage isn't that big out there right now, so you may be more tempted to take off days if it's really nice or you're just not feeling like it. Our big thing, or something that you need to focus on, is even if you, for example, have a 60-minute run plan for the day and you only have 30 minutes, get out there and do those 30 minutes so that your body really starts to understand that it needs to make those adaptations to get ready for the big day. It's also going to make every single week that much easier as we increase the mileage. If you're not consistent with your training, we're going to continue building. Granted, we will have cutback weeks where we take a little bit off of the long runs, make it a little bit easier during the week so your body can have a kind of a mini recovery week before we start building again. But the more consistent you are, the more your body is going to be able to easily make those adaptations throughout the season. So that's kind of the thing we really want to focus on right now, is building those good habits right away. Doing your cross training when it calls for it on the plan. You don't have to run 5-6 days a week all the time. You want to make sure you're taking care of your whole system, both strength, nutrition, sleep, as well as running. So that's kind of where we're at, and what I'd like to kind of get across the most today. And then from the actual logistics side of things, want to make sure hopefully everybody's gotten their registration in for training if you're going to do it, which I obviously highly recommend, especially if you're able to make it to the group training. Now that we're able to get back out there in groups, which has been absolutely fantastic. Dave can attest to this. I've been out manning our aid stations, hydration stations, the last couple of weekends, and I cannot tell you the joy that I see on people's faces as they are running in groups and able to talk to each other and see each other smile, and see each other frown if they need to, but just be able to see each other's faces. And it's just been, a big weight lifted to be able to get the groups back out there. So really, really excited about that. So once you're registered, if you haven't, just make sure if you have any questions about the training plan, if you haven't gotten yours yet, there's a couple of steps to follow once you do get registered. We have everybody fill out a pretty detailed health and facts form, health and fitness form that the coaches look at to try and guide you to the correct training plan that's right for you. So that's the first step to check, is if you haven't gotten a plan, make sure you filled out that form. And then if not, the coaches are always happy to help you out and guide you with whatever you might need. If anybody's got any questions, I would love to rather than just keep yapping over here, if anybody's got specific questions, we got a small enough group that would love to answer any training related questions or logistics about CES and kind of what we're doing. Dave, you can't ask questions yet.
Hi, this is Courtney. I have a question.
Hi, Courtney.
So I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Courtney. This is my first marathon. I've been running since 2009, but I've only done half marathons. So this is my first one. So I'm excited to push myself, and I'm excited to run in the city of Chicago. I live in Atlanta, so I'll be coming to Chicago. I've always loved that city. But just any tips you have for first time marathon runners, especially getting past that 13-mile mark. I've done those before. So I was like, sometimes thinking of like, oh my God, I'm gonna be doing 18, 19, 20, like just any tips for that?
Yes, I think the best tip for that is to stay present in what you're doing at the time. You've got a week of training that you need to get done. So don't worry so much about what's coming up 2-3 weeks down the road. make sure you're taking care of what you need to get done that week. Like I said, focus on the good sleep and being consistent. I think the consistency is going to be the biggest thing that's going to get you past that mark, because the more consistent you are, it's not going to be a big stretch for you to add another mile after you've done your 13 miler, because you've gotten that consistent training over the weeks. The other thing would be to, and again, I know we've got our big groups in Chicago, is to see if you can track down somebody around you to run with, or even some kind of an accountability partner if you can. There may be other people at local running groups or anything like that to do that. But I would suggest make sure you join the CES Facebook group if you're not already on it. We have a lot of people posting things on a regular basis from all over the country, occasionally from other countries that are training with us virtually, and they're posting all their successes as well as their challenges. And I think that's where you're going to get that support that you might not have if you're just doing it all totally by yourself. And so make sure you're not doing it by yourself. There's a lot of other people that are also first timers, even people who haven't run a half marathon before. Maybe their furthest is 5 or 6 miles. So you got a big leg up on those guys. So think of yourself as a veteran almost at this point, since you've got that 13 in. So right now you should be feeling pretty solid and just focused on making sure you stay on track. Hopefully that helped. It was a lot of talking.
It did, yeah, thank you. No, that was really helpful. Thanks.
Good.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Mike. Any other questions for Mike? All right, so we're going to kick it to Dave with Fleet Feet. Thank you, Mike.
So first of all, I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Can I get a thumbs up there? All right, excellent. First of all, for the young lady, Courtney from Atlanta, a lot of great running in Atlanta. Greater Atlanta Track Club is a fantastic resource for people to be able to go out and do some runs with. There are actually 3 Fleet Feet stores in the greater Atlanta area. And if Fleet Feet is not near you, there's another great running store down there called Big Peach, and they have running groups as well. So running is a continuum. We learned that, Mike and I learned that from an Olympian named Bob Kennedy a few weeks ago. It's about consistently getting out there and doing the work. It's a continuum that you just need to keep on going time and time again. So make those appointments, find those friends. I know it's double the distance, but it's not going to be double the effort because you're going to already have had all this great knowledge from your training and from your previous half marathon. So that's all I have on that. Just quickly to talk about footwear. It really is the most important piece of equipment in running is running shoes. There you go. There you go. Have your running shoes. Make sure that you have the ability to get into the right shoe for you. So at Fleet Feet, what we do is we have something called Fit ID. Fit ID is our 3D system that will scan your foot to get an idea of the shape of your foot. And then we also added this last year, dynamic pressure plates. So we have the ability to see you walk, and then the software that we've created has the ability to extrapolate that data to understand what's happening when your foot is making contact with the ground while running. And based on the shape of your foot and the strike of your foot, we're going to be able to do a couple of things. We're going to be able to find the right shoe shape for you because shoes are shaped differently. Somebody who has a high arch needs a different type of shoe shape than somebody that has a flat foot. We used to have a giant sign in our store that said, "You cannot buy your running shoes by the color." I was told that I had to take that down because it wasn't appropriate anymore because shoes are coming available underneath the rainbow of colors that are out there, which is fantastic. But I will tell you from true experience, you will not give a damn what color your shoes are at mile 20 of a marathon. You want to make sure you're getting the right shape of shoe and the right fit for you based on your biomechanics and your foot shape. So we want to make sure that you get that correct. I lied a little bit. There are 2 pieces of equipment in the sport of running. If you are female, that is getting the right running bra. I did not say sports bra, I said running bra. And you want to make sure that you're going to one of our sales associates or somebody that is knowledgeable on running bras to be able to get you fit into the right type of bra. And that is going to be the end of the guy talking about running bras. Other things I want to talk about just quickly is avoid cotton socks. Cotton absorbs 7 to 10 times its own weight in water and is the number 2 cause of blistering in athletic shoes. Number 1 cause of blistering is ill-fitting shoes. Number 2 is your foot getting completely saturated from that cotton sock, rubbing, and then being able to blister. You want to avoid cotton socks. You want to get into something that is either natural like a wool or something synthetic to be able to wick moisture away. That also has to do with the apparel that you're wearing, the sports bra that you're wearing. You want to avoid cotton. You want to make sure that you are getting the right fabric against your skin. And if you've never heard of the word Body Glide, write this word down, Body Glide. It is a anti-chafing ointment that you put on, because in the sport of running, whatever can rub will rub. And you want to make sure that you're avoiding the rubbing. You're going to be striking the ground 1,700 times a mile. Your arms are going to be moving 1,700 times per mile. You want to make sure that when you're doing this activity, you are perspiring, because if you're not perspiring, then go see a doctor. But you want to make sure that you are perspiring, and then salt comes out at that same time. That's abrasive. So you also want to make sure that you're using that Body Glide. Great things to be practicing now early in the season. Nutrition, there's a lot of great stuff that's out there. On the course in Chicago will be Gatorade and Gatorade gel. So you want to make sure that if you're not going to carry your own nutrition and you're going to rely on what's just on the course, make sure that you are practicing with the Gatorade. If you're carrying your own nutrition, make sure that you are practicing that with that as well. I don't know if they're going to allow water bottle backpacks on the course this year with COVID. So we'll find out in the upcoming weeks. But you want to make sure that you're practicing with something that you're going to be using on race day. Also, you want to make sure that if you are using timing devices like a Garmin or recovery tools like a foam roller, that you're using those early in the season to make sure that they're working right for you. So really the big thing that I would suggest doing is making sure that you're getting in for new shoes if you have not gotten new shoes already, and make sure that prior to the time of the race, generally about a month to a month and a quarter out from the race, you're getting a fresh pair of shoes, so you have something that is going to have less miles on it. So shoes last for about somewhere between 350 to 500 active miles. You're going to be doing about 400 miles worth of training through the CES program. So that means that somewhere towards the end of the shoe's life is going to be when you're heading towards Chicago. So you want to make sure that you have fresh tread while going towards that. That is what I have for you today from the road. I'm actually, as you can see, in my car and making my way through New York because I'm going to a race, and I can't be any more thrilled than to say that I'm going to a race. And I can't wait to see everybody in Chicago, whether you're traveling in or training with CES locally. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody in person. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dave, Alan, and Coach Mike for your wonderful tips and tricks. I'm buying the Body Glide tonight. I usually use a couple of different products, but I've never heard of that. I probably did last year, but I'm definitely going to try that. So thank you for that, and all of your wonderful tips and tricks. And with that, does anybody have any last minute questions or comments? We'd love to take them before we end our kickoff. See who's in our Courtney or Kaylin or Peter. Do you all have any questions?
So if anybody wants to know about like the super fast shoes, I could talk about those too, like the fitted shoes, the $250 to $300 shoes. Will they make you run faster? Maybe is the answer. For anybody who's doing their first marathon, make sure you're getting something that just fits. Pieces of equipment are those shoes that are called racing flats, 4%, plated shoes, etc. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go on to Google and take a look at plated running shoes. And there's a whole vast world out there of what's happening in the footwear world.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks, Dave. Well, I think that's it for tonight. We appreciate you all joining us. Thank you to our special guests, We really appreciate your time, and we're excited for this year and then gearing up for 2022, of course. If you all have any questions, feel free to email me. If you have questions for Coach Mike, Alan, Dave, let me know, or myself, feel free to email me or give me a call. And I hope you all have a wonderful night and a great weekend ahead. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kayla.
Of course.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Nice meeting everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.